The United States is very much engaged, in their words, in seeking an end to this conflict in Sudan, according to White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. She has said that the administration is in frequent contact with its Arab partners and is working to achieve a peaceful resolution, noting that the situation on the ground remains very complicated. On Nigeria, Leavitt has reiterated that if the government continues to allow the killings of Christians, the U.S. will immediately stop all aid and may take action against the Islamic terrorists responsible for attacks on women and children. Regarding federal food assistance, she has said that the administration is complying with court orders and distributing payments as quickly as possible. Future SNAP payments are being managed to ensure emergency funds are preserved for catastrophic terms. This is what she has said.
Challenges. I actually spoke with Secretary Rubio about this morning, as of course there's been, kind of an uptick in recent reporting on the matter, and he assured me that the administration is very much engaged. We're in pretty frequent communication with those Arab partners that I just mentioned, and we want to see this conflict come to a peaceful end, just as we have with so many others, but the reality is it's a very...
Now for this discussion, we welcome back Ayanuga Olugbengapol. He's a public affairs analyst, joins us live from Lagos. Thank you very much, Ayanuga, for staying with us. Now, looking at all of the situations over there, including Sudan and Nigeria now, focusing on to Nigeria, what political or military strategies could help Nigeria? And what do you think are the interests or motives of U.S. eyeing Nigeria, or U.S. trying to interfere in Nigeria's domestic politics?
Well, I think it's a big slap on our nation as a country that U.S. is interfering, and U.S. is, to me, the big bully who only bullies people they know they can lord over. The manner, ways, and language U.S. speaks with Nigeria in this situation, you don't see them speaking with China that way. Neither do you see them speaking with Russia that way, because they know strength for strength. Those people will match them. But it is what it is. On the one part, I won't lie that I am not happy that the U.S. spoke, because ever since the U.S. government spoke, even though I don't agree with them and some of the things that they said, but we have seen on the ground a lot of rapid changes, a lot of efforts by the state governors, because most often than not, people blame the federal government for some of the challenges that we are facing in the nation, especially as it concerns security measures. But every politics is local, and if the local government, the state government, are not cooperating enough or are not on the same page with the federal government, when the federal government policy body language is A and the state policy body language is Z, you see, there will be no alignment. They will be totally out of sync. But now, the fear of U.S. invasion and all the rest are making a lot of states put efforts in place to tackle the war on terrorism head on. And let's hope that this current momentum will be sustained and we will be able to see direct impact of this threat. But on the threat itself, from my study of history and understanding of history, knows that the U.S. government, U.S. people might be very nice people, fantastic people, but the U.S. government itself has shown itself to be a leprous hand that stains whatever it touches. I mean, there is a saying in the International Foreign Affairs Circle that it is dangerous to be an enemy of the U.S., but it is better to be a friend of the U.S. And we've seen this several times in the history of U.S. diplomatic relations, other people, that those who U.S. wants to destroy, it first makes friends with them. Iraq is on our mind, Afghanistan is on our mind, Libya is on our mind, even Venezuela is on our mind. And we know how U.S. Diplomatic body language. Even all these Southern American countries of Nicaragua, Colombia, and several of them who are still reeling in the troubles that are machinated by U.S. in one way or the other. Uh, the U.S. first made friends with them, so it is special to be friends with the U.S. And with all this example of their past incursions into other nations and the instability that follows, most Nigerians are very skeptical and very weary to welcome U.S. boots on any inch of our soil. Any form of boots on the ground is an act of war against the nation Nigeria. And you see, this war that is going on everywhere in the Sahel, even in Sudan, has its own effect, either directly or indirectly, because by the time people cross from El Fasher, for example, into Chad Republic, there is nothing for them in Chad. So the best place they will look for greener pasture, for safety, is Nigeria. And so some of this war in other parts of the Sahel region of Africa is brewing the insecurity challenges in Nigeria. And that is why we are hoping that the wars in Sudan will be brought to a halt as soon as possible. The situation even in Libya, where there is still skirmishes between government forces and rebel forces, even though it is not pronounced as it was in the last 5 years, but it is still there, and its effect is still reeling on a country like Nigeria. So we are hoping that once all of these things can be sorted, then we will get our home cleaned up. And the most important thing that I want US to focus on, if truly they meant well for Nigeria and want to help Nigeria, is the issue of sanctions on political office holders, military office holders who fail in their duty to protect the citizens. Because many of these powerful political office holders who are supposed to defend the citizen, they have their children in the US, they have their families in Europe. And so if the US and Europe come together and sanction them and send back to Nigeria all their family, then you see, they will know that it's a serious case that they need to solve the problem on the ground if they too and their
Yes.
family wants to live peacefully within the borders of the country.
Yes, indeed. With that, I would like to thank Ayanuga Olugbenga Paul for joining us and sharing that insight as a public affairs analyst all the way from Lagos. Thank you very much. Now we move on to our next news. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Christopher Landau has said that he spoke with Mali's Foreign Minister Abdoulaye Diop to discuss shared security interests in the region. In a post on X, Landau also stated that the United States commends the armed forces of Mali in their fight against Islamic extremist terrorists. In early September, al-Qaeda-linked group Jamaat Nusrat al-Islam wal Muslimin (JNIM) has announced a blockade on fuel imports to the landlocked West African country. The group has since attacked convoys of fuel tankers attempting to enter the country or reach the capital, Bamako. Last week, the U.S. State Department ordered non-emergency employees and their family members to leave Mali due to safety risks. Now for this discussion, we welcome Ambassador Mahesh Sachdev. He's a former Indian ambassador, joins us live from New Delhi. Thank you very much, Ambassador, for joining us again. Good to see you. Ambassador, now looking at this, how should Mali balance collaboration with international partners like US while addressing their domestic security threats from groups in JNIM? How effective do you think foreign evacuations and advisories could be there?
Thank you for having me. It's a complex issue and has seen some of very important flux in the region during the past decade or so. Firstly, Mali is a sub-Saharan, a Sahel country in sub-Sahara. Much of the north is the desert, and south is arid zone bordering on Black Africa. Uh, Almost everyone there is a Muslim, and it was potentially very rich country with gold mines, etc. But Islamists have from Algeria, with which it has a long border, have percolated down, and Arab Qaeda and Al Qaeda in Arab Maghreb is AQIM uh, and its offshoots are prevalent there. It has led to ECOWAS, the regional groupings, sending its armed forces, but they have been withdrawn. French have also deployed their troops together with Chadians and others. But again, there have been a military coup in in Mali, and after that, the Malian government decided that ex-colonialist forces from France were not welcome, and they have relied on regional forces and friendly countries, uh, including Wagner Group of Russia and Russian advisors, to fight the war themselves. It's been an inconclusive and bloody fight with the Islamists and Mali's ill-equipped army. United States stayed out of it till recently, and Mali's military government was ostracized by ECOWAS and African Union because they do not countenance positively on military coups or overthrowing civilian governments. Uh, in that situation, Mali and two other regional countries, including Niger and Burkina Faso, where also military coups had taken place, they have gone together and decided to form some kind of alternate union and military alliance. Now, this was the situation till recently when United States decided that it needs to pay closer attention to uh, Islamic fundamentalist militancy in West Africa, such as Nigeria. You have just spoken on that issue about Islamists killing Christians in Nigeria, and America getting increasingly vocal about it. You, there are also uh, American troops were deployed in Niger, uh, bordering Nigeria, but then they have been withdrawn, and yet there are some uh, reverberations about sending them back, and Central Command of United States is working on it. Mali, there are talk between Foreign Minister and the Assistant Secretary of State of United States uh, shows that the United States may be uh, working on some kind of support to Malian government to enable it to fight Islamists in a better way and without help from Russia and other countries that United States disapproves of. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for sharing that. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we stay in Africa. A Nigerian court has warned separatist leader Nnamdi